Welcome back to the Kino Cave, where apparently I take a month off because by accident. It's been a while. Haven't posted for just over a month because I've just been busy. I've just been busy and haven't really gotten the chance to get to the YouTube stuff, but I'm back. Hopefully, the videos will get more regular again since things are starting to quiet down for me, and I want to get back to this anyway. I've got video ideas and I want to start making stuff again, so hopefully I won't need to take another month and a bit off. And today, since Fantastic Four is still coming out, I reviewed the 2005 film. That was my last video, so now I'm going to talk about the Rise of the Silver Surfer. This was like one of my favorite movies as a kid because I just had so much fun with it. I don't think I ever watched the 2005 film that much. It was this one that I had the DVD of and watched endlessly as a kid. So I don't even think I needed to watch much of this one. I remember so much from it. I thought the idea of combining all the powers into one person was really cool. I guess that's now like the Super Skrull thing in the comic books and stuff. And I thought the Silver Surfer was really cool, and yeah, Galactus is a letdown, but not to my childhood brain. I thought it was cool regardless, because I didn't know what Galactus was in the comic books. I didn't read Marvel comics at the time. But now, rewatching this as an adult, I found that this film is a lot better than the first, for me anyway. I think it's a more coherent and complete story, where the first film kind of felt like two separate movies that were mashed together. It was an origin movie, and then it was like an episode of a TV show with Doctor Doom at the end. This feels like one story from start to finish. I like how in this film they're all fully fledged superheroes, and also their secret identities are public, which was not the status quo at the time. It was very much a rarity, and I like how each of them deals with it differently. I like how Johnny loves being a superhero and loves the fame and attention, and he craves it, and he just likes getting the fame and fortune that comes with being a superhero. I like how Ben Grimm kind of doesn't like it as much because he's the one who's got the outward appearance of looking different, so he can't really hide any part of himself. He is kind of forced to deal with it 24/7. Reed obviously takes it too seriously and treats it like a job, which I guess it is, but he treats it like too much of a job, and he feels like he needs to constantly be superheroing and figuring things out, and protecting the world. And then Sue pretty much hates being a superhero. She hates not having a private life anymore. She hates that everything has to be too big. She hates how she has responsibility basically all of the time now, and she wishes that she could go back to maybe the way things were before she was the Invisible Woman. One of my favorite parts of this film is the bachelor party sequence where, the characters are blowing off steam and just having fun and partying. And I think it's interesting the way that filmmaking has come in the last 20 or so years, where I think this kind of scene would probably have been cut from the film if it were made nowadays, because it was like unnecessary for the plot. It's this weird CinemaSins brain that a lot of people have now, and this isn't any new information. Like, a lot of people have talked about this, and how like film criticism has seemed to come down to like pure logic and no emotion. A scene like the bachelor party sequence in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, I can't believe I'm talking about this with this movie, but a scene like this isn't necessary for the plot, even though a lot of people seem to think that every scene in a film needs to be necessary for the plot. Plot is the death of movies. Plot is what makes movies boring. If a movie squarely focuses on its story, then I don't give a shit about the film. The things that I enjoy about movies in general is that I like to see our characters, I like to connect with them, I like to relate to them. And the bachelor party sequence, provides that. It's not necessary for the plot, but it's necessary for connecting us with these characters. They're doing things that are very relatable, but then they're also showing off their superpowers and things like that. And I think it's a really fun sequence that, again, doesn't really exist in a modern superhero movie. You have, instances of it like in Avengers Age of Ultron, there's the party sequence, which is like the best Avengers scene ever, for me anyway, because it's just these characters connecting with each other. None of these characters are connected, and they don't feel connected. And even characters in, say, like, take the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and this is well worn ground at this point, but just to take it something like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, where I don't feel the connection as much between Peter Parker, Ned Leeds, and Michelle in these movies, because every scene has to be necessary for the plot and has to move the plot forward. So I don't feel as connected with these three characters. But, and again, this is the High Top Films thing coming out again. And I know that if this video gets any traction, I'm going to get a ton of shit. But let's take Peter Parker, Mary Jane, and Harry Osborn from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, where there are scenes of them just hanging out and enjoying themselves, and it connects us with these characters. Take the backyard scene in the first Spider-Man movie. It's just two characters talking. It doesn't do anything for the plot. All it does is connect us with these characters. Or even the first scene in Spider-Man 1 with Peter and Harry at the Science Expo. Or scenes like the birthday party scene in Spider-Man 2. Or the chocolate cake scene in Spider-Man 2. It all serves these characters. There's not really many scenes like that in the newer Spider-Man movies. Anyway, that's my ramble over, I promise. The point is, the bachelor party scene, I just enjoyed it because it's not the kind of scene that we get anymore in a comic book movie. I like how the Silver Surfer is basically the T-1000. Just pivoting straight from like a philosophical idea about screenwriting straight into it's cool that he looks like the T-1000. Yeah, I mean, you don't really improve on it. Like, we've seen the new Silver Surfer. I can't remember the girl's name, I'm sorry. But she looks cool, and yeah, basically the same as the Silver Surfer looked 20 years ago, except she's a woman now, which is fine. People are gonna complain regardless, but she looks great. I have Jennifer Garner in my head, that's not it. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, you can't improve on, the T-1000 in 1992. It's pretty basic CGI. There's nothing else you can really do for it. Metal is kind of the easiest thing to CGI. That's why the Transformers movies look amazing in 2007. I like Johnny's arc in this film. I like how he's forced to kind of face the negative aspects of his personality through using the powers of the other Fantastic Four. He, is often too aggressive. He rushes into situations without thinking. He's reckless. He doesn't take things too seriously. And through using the powers of the other Fantastic Four, he has to face those situations, like when they're concerned about him switching powers, they tell him to back off, and he doesn't. And he switches powers with Mr. Fantastic, and then he doesn't know how to use Mr. Fantastic's powers, and it hurts Mr. Fantastic because now he was stretched out when they swap powers. So all this kind of stuff, I think it's really good. I think it's an interesting idea to like force a superhero to face the negative aspects of his personality rather than having him kind of face them on his own. It's kind of different and interesting. I think the pairing of Doug Jones as the body of the Silver Surfer and Lawrence Fishburne, Larry Fishburne, as the voice of the Silver Surfer, I think it's a good pairing. I think there's a lot of sadness to him, which can only be pulled off by a really talented pair of actors. And yeah, I really enjoy how Silver Surfer should be a sad, mopey character because he's had a sad, mopey backstory. I think as well Sue Storm's character is much stronger here than in the first movie. I think Jessica Alba can show off her acting a bit more here by talking to the Silver Surfer and relating to him and all that kind of thing. I think it's a lot better than the first movie. Obviously, this has been well documented that she wasn't treated very well on the sets of these movies, and she was kind of treated more like a commodity than an actual actor, which, yeah, it's terrible. But I think she does a very good job here with what she's given. Once again, the worst part of these movies is Doctor Doom. He has no reason to be here. He just shows up at the end and takes Silver Surfer's aboard, and that's kind of it. He tries to bring Galactus to Earth, and then it doesn't work because it's been a while since I've actually watched this movie. It has been a while between watching this movie and recording this video, so yeah, I mean, Doom, he's completely wasted here anyway, and he just didn't need to be here. We've got sort of a villain in the Silver Surfer, you know, villain turned hero, and we've got a villain in Galactus. We don't need a third villain in Doctor Doom. Again, I don't want to touch on this too much. I'm trying not to, you know, just say what everybody else said, but yeah, Galactus sucks. He's a big pissy cloud. I don't even need him to be the giant purple guy from the comic books, but just making him a weird cloud is just, it's not interesting, or it's not very cinematic either. It's just there. If they'd redesigned him and made it cool, then I'd be fine with it. I can say though that Johnny using the combined powers of the Fantastic Four is just the action figure mashing together thing that I was obsessed with as a kid, and I still find it really cool now that he's invisible, he's on fire, and he's stretchy, and he's got big clobbery hands. I think it's great. I love it. It's, you can't, like, anybody who says that it's dumb and like fan servicey can just fuck off, because it's cool. Like, I want something to be cool in a superhero movie, and this is just cool. And you know, he kicks the shit out of Doctor Doom, which is great. No, that, I think that sequence is really really fun. And that was kind of it. There's not much to talk about with this film. I just kind of wanted to do a short, quick review ahead of Fantastic Four First Steps coming out next month. Um, yeah, I guess we'll see, because I genuinely don't know what to think of that movie, and I'm avoiding all the marketing as I'm doing with like Superman as well. I watched the first couple of trailers, and I kind of want to go in blind after that, and I guess we'll see. It will be interesting to say the least. Will they have a successful and well received Fantastic Four movie? You know, fifth time's a charm, I guess. As long as this one actually comes out, which the first one didn't. With that being said, drop a comment below. Let me know, what do you think of these Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s? I like them. I think they're fun. And let me know what you think of the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps. Will it be great? Will the MCU be back once again? Or will it be gone or dead once again? We have this conversation every 3 months, so have it down in the comments, I guess. Can you tell my interest in these kinds of arguments is waning day by day? Anyway, if you like this video, then give it a like, please. It does a lot for my ego. And subscribe to see more videos like this. Possibly more upbeat videos, because I'm sick of talking about Marvel. I'm recording a Smallville video after this, and I'm gonna have a much better energy going into that one, I think. So, with that being said, have a great day, everybody.